Hello everyone, so today I'm going to be doing my review on the Zhulinniao Z3 from, it's called the Zhulinniao King Luan Z3. So I was sent out this IEM from Zhulinniao themselves. Sorry if I'm butchering it, I don't know how to say it. But yeah, it won't affect the nature of this review at all. That's the only thing is that I was sent it, okay? So this IEM is around, I think it's like around like £40, something like that. Yeah, it's around like £40-30. It's quite a interesting set. I think there's some like really glaring issues with it, but honestly, I think the goal of this IEM was so close, but a very specific area of it just sort of breaks for me. So moving on to starting with appearance. I think this set is actually really cool. Like really nice looking. Actually, it's probably one of the best looking sets at this price I've ever seen. Like, just look at that. It's a full CNC metal shell, really beautiful. I love it. Camera can focus. Oh, whatever. So yeah, really nice shell. It's got like a silver design. It sort of looks like it looks like it's from Naruto or something. It's kind of cool. But yeah, really cool shell. So not much of a say about the shell, to be honest. I do think the ear tips that it comes with, which I'll go over in a second, because I really like these ear tips. I've used them before. Actually help with their appearance quite a lot. It's like this like green cone shape, really nice. Cable is beautiful. This is probably one of the best cables at this price point. Maybe not in terms of like behavior, but in terms of looks, it's beautiful. I love when cables do this like glossy thing, where they just sort of have like this really punchy look. It's really nice. Like it's just sort of it stands out quite a bit. It's cool. Not much else to say about that. I'd give the appearance like a 8.5 out of 10. It's really cool. But yeah. Now moving on to accessories. This set comes with actually a really good accessories package. It's actually like really good. So in terms of accessories, it comes with obviously the cable, which I don't think is insanely well done because the behavior of it is really iffy. At times, it could feel quite stiff, which causes it to get tangled quite a bit. So that's not a good thing. But the hooks are done well. Like, it does seal quite well because of the cable. But yeah, I would rather have this cable be a bit less stiff. But yeah. Now, in terms of ear tips, these ear tips that I'm using on this right now actually come with the IEM, and so they have like two more tips. They have a short wide bore and they have a narrow long bore. This is what I'm using. They're silicon tips. They're separate. They're just like a narrow. They're like a it's like a deep wide bore. It's really cool. My only issue with this is that these ear tips do kind of have a weird seal to them. Sometimes the seal feels quite like not. It doesn't feel like a sealing sometimes. That's the issue. The tips are really. I've used this before. I'll make my own separate review on these, but in terms of tips, these are probably some of my favorite tips in the market right now. I use them on a lot of IEMs. My only issue is that sometimes they don't seal because the sizing of them is really weird. You sort of have to get a larger size, and sometimes that larger size isn't even a good fit for you. They might hurt your ears. So yeah, I just would rather them maybe size up on these, maybe like halfway, and they will come out perfect. But yeah. Accessories, probably, I honestly rate them really high, but just because of the cable being a bit weird in terms of behavior, I'll probably have to rate it like maybe like a 8.2 probably. But yeah, that's all for accessories. Not much else to really say about them, because they're just good. Like the behavior of the tips have they have a really good like soft, like the ball itself feels really soft, so it fits on the nozzle quite easily. And the overall the stickiness of each tip is quite good. The normal tips have like a matte finish, while this has like a stickier finish. And I do think the stickier finish does work well, but it just should be larger in size. Now, moving on to sound. This set, I'll put the graph up right now, like always. The set is, it let me down. It did let me down a lot. So starting with sub bass, there isn't a very big sub bass emphasis, as you can see on the graph. It's not really going for like a tactile response. It's more going for that mid bass, punchy, heavy weighted, bloomy emphasis in the upper bass. But yeah, much like the Tansha Bunny, it's got a lot slower of a decay. It's bleeding a bit into the mid-range, which I think is quite nice, honestly. But yeah, I think it's quite like, it's done quite tastefully. Now, I think that maybe I would rather have had a bit more bleed into this mid-range, because the upper mid-range, the starting slope is quite like uncolored. Like there should be maybe a bit more like emphasis in that, but honestly the mid-range is done quite well. Resolution's quite okay for the price. Maybe just have it a bit higher. I think the issue with this set specifically is that they do a lot of compromises because of the like the giant accessory range you get with it. I think they should have just toned down with the accessories a little bit and given us like a good sounding IEM. But this sort of just fall like off the mark. Bass tactility is quite slow. Thing is, a lot of IEMs, they have slow bass. They have a really slow decay, but they still have really good bass tactility. This just doesn't land that mark. I wouldn't even say the mid bass is super resolving. Now that might just be because the decay being slow, but I can still name like maybe 5 IEMs at this price point that have a slow decay and that are still resolving, but this just doesn't hit the mark. But I'm nitpicking a bit. It is a good overall like bass decay for IEM at this price. So yeah, the upper bass gives a lot of bloom. Like it has a lot of it's a very bloomy nature to it. It's actually quite warm sounding in this low mid range, but yeah, it's quite nice. I really like it. But here's where the set starts to get weird. So around the pinner region at the 3k peak, or just in general in the upper mids, they're really just elevated, and I don't know how I feel about this, because the presence region, it rolls off to a giant degree. Like it is insane how rolled off it is. Like it is actually insane how soft the transients are in terms of vocals. It is really weird. I don't like it, and it just doesn't have like, it just sounds straight up dark in this region, and in most parts of this set it just straight up sounds dark. Now I think the reason they did this was because the driver they're using isn't capable of emitting this type of treble response, so they're trying to like backtrack on the other maybe quote unquote less important parts of the treble to sort of get an extended treble response, which I don't think that's the best move. There's IEMs at this price range which don't have this, like the Tanschin Bunny, which don't have a crazy treble extension, but they still have really good and airy treble because they just work with what they have. They don't just do these weird dips. This dip does make like transients and vocals just sound really dark, and especially with like acoustic guitars and like the initial bite of certain instruments, they just sound really soft and not very like bitey. In terms of ear gain as well, it's just really shouty. Even at mid volumes, I had to turn it down a little bit just because of how shouty it could get. So yeah, just not very great. 8k peak, I think the 8k peak is really good. The mid treble in general is done actually okay. Like cymbals definitely have an attack to them. They are very sparkly. They have really good cymbal strikes. But again, it does sort of suffer with this quick decay. Nothing's extended up until the air region, which I think is just disgusting. Now, here's at the peak between 10 to like, what, 13k, there's this absolutely giant dip, which you can audibly hear. It's just not good at all. This dip is super dark. Even if the treble on the further end of the air is, yeah, it's extended, this peak has already done enough damage because most people are only going to hear that. A lot of people can't even hear past 15k, so it's just not going to really give much. It's sort of just pulling away all the details. It feels like I'm hearing half the track sometimes. Now, you might be wondering, but there's an air extension at the end, so surely there has to be some sense of detail. I can't really hear this air extension because the giant gap in the treble is part of the treble in terms of like the air extension. So even though it has an extension, it's super rolled off. Like there's no sense of micro details at all, and any like airy sort of breathy detail, any sort of just any micros, they're just sort of rolled off completely, and it just sounds really unresolving in general. this set just sort of has an overall unresolving feel. Like, it feels like they didn't really know what to do with it. If you sort of look at the graph without the last maybe like 3 frequencies, without the upper mid range, without the mid treble, without the air, then you sort of just get like a decent IEM. But when you open your eyes, it just sort of, it just doesn't even look good on the graph. But yeah, this IEM was doing so well until it reached that point, and it just sort of misses the mark. Now, in terms of like genre-wise, what I think this set would sort of be good for is really, really difficult to determine, because this set doesn't really know what it's doing. It's quite hard to determine. I would just say give it for vocals, because you can't really give it for anything else. There's not enough sub bass for pop. There's not enough sub bass for rap. There's not enough if you try to give this for metal or rock, then it would just sort of get shouty because of how elevated the upper mid range is. Now, what I would recommend this for is probably male-centered vocals, and even then it's sort of a stretch. That's sort of what I would recommend, but again, it's just sort of, I wouldn't really do it personally. But yeah, that's my overall review for the Zhulinniao Z3. I just don't really enjoy the set much. I did see their other sets, the Z4. That looks really good. I would recommend getting the Z4. Let me take a look at the graph right now. So, yeah, the Z4 looks okay. It has actually a really good air extension to it, and it seems like they actually know what they're doing with it. Now, I will say the presence region on that looks a bit too forward, but hey, some people like that, and I tried this set recently. The K-Bear, I think it's like the Apex something P8. This is really cool. I'll make a review on this soon. This is insane. Like, I was surprised this had really good presence region for being that elevated. It's really good. But yeah, would I recommend this set? Probably not really, because honestly, there's so many better vocal IEMs at this price, like the Bunny, like the Opus without the bass switch on, the Q5 Pro from EPZ. Fuck man, even the Zero Red is better than this, and that's super dark as well. So yeah, it's just kind of getting beaten by everything, and I don't really see the point of buying this. So yeah, that's my review of this thing. I wouldn't really recommend buying it, but hey, I've still got faith in this brand. Honestly, the other sets seem cool, but yeah. See you guys.